Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Melinda. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. And before going to start your session, I want to introduce you to our audience, Sandy.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Sandy Austin is an internationally respected educator, school counselor, and crisis response expert with 35 years of experience supporting children and school communities. Founder and executive director of the Globe nonprofit BIO and NIC team, she empowers students to create caring school cultures that prevent bullying, suicide, and isolation. A nationally recognized leader and award winning author, her work in trauma recovery and compassionate school leadership has been featured by major media outlets, including Good Morning America. You have done a great job, Sandy, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Melinda. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, I had my PowerPoint up before. I cannot see it now. Can you guys share that? Okay, great. There you go. Thank you so much. Well, it's such a privilege to be with you all today. And wherever you're logging in from across the world, it's such a privilege to be talking with you today. So my name is Sandy Austin, and I am a professional school counselor. And so what that means is in the United States, most schools, a lot of schools have a school counselor, at least one school counselor on staff that is there to talk with kids that are struggling emotionally. We help them with academic issues, with grades, to make sure they're being able to pass their classes in school and learn the material. And if they are sick or something like that, we help to get the tutoring for them to be able to help pass their classes. And so that's what we do there too. But also we help with their career plans, whatever they are wanting to do in and through school, after school, if they, what kind of career they want to go into, what are their gifts and talents. My whole dream of being a school counselor is to help kids find out the gift that they are to this world. And so that's what my heart is. As a school counselor, I have been a school counselor for 27 years now. Hi, Heather, I see you on, and Karen, good to see you on here. And so what we do is we help kids figure out what kind of career they want to be in. At my age, what I have seen, and I've seen so many adults, when they hear I'm a school counselor, they say, excuse me, they say that they never went into the career that they got a college degree on. And so the thing is, I don't want kids and parents to waste money getting a college degree or education after high school by going into something that they would not like. And so that's my goal and my dream. And so you see this emergency vehicle, you see an ambulance right in front of me. One of the big things that can really hinder our students from finding out the gift that they are in this world is when there is tragedy at their school. And so what happened is, again, I was a school counselor for 27 years, and I counseled in the aftermath of 5 school shootings. It is so sad that in America, we have so many school shootings. And so that's where, as a school counselor, I've been able to help counsel in the aftermath of 5 school shootings. And we've had my very first school shooting that I was helped with was the Columbine High School tragedy in 1999. And what is so sad is to report is that this year, last September in 2025, 26 years after the Columbine tragedy, we had another school shooting 20 minutes away from Columbine. And so, I have been asked to go and counsel at that school 2 days a week because there's no one else in my area that has had the amount of counseling in schools after shootings that I have. And so they asked me to take time out of my time with Bionic, my nonprofit, which I am going to be talking about in a minute, to be able to help this school since they are really struggling. And so it's such a privilege to be able to go there. And it's sad to be an expert in this type of thing, but with my expertise, I can help this school heal quicker than with someone that hasn't had all that experience. So anyway, so what happened is I have helped in the aftermath of 5 school shootings. And then and so it was very difficult. I was not there at Columbine High School the day of the shooting. I was at another high school within the district, the school district. And what's very interesting is I had student taught at Columbine 17 years before the tragedy. And so the situation is in America, after you've gone through your college program for teaching, then you do student teaching where you are at a school for a semester. And so I thought, I want to be a student teacher with one of my favorite teachers, and that was Chris Beal. And I had her in junior high or middle school when I was 11 through 13, age 13, 11 through 13. And then 17 years later, when I contacted Miss Beal to be her student teacher, I found out she was at Columbine High School, and I thought, great. And so I student taught there. And then again, 17 years later, I was a counselor back in the district. And so they asked if all the school counselors in the district to report to Columbine if our schools were not locked down. And so I went there to Columbine, and then they found out that I had so much experience with Columbine. And there were 13 students that were killed on the day of the shooting at Columbine. And then there was one teacher who was killed. And that teacher I had coached girls basketball with 17 years later when I was student teaching at Columbine. So that's what it pierced my heart when that was happening. And so they asked if I would help be able to be released from my school to be able to spend more time at Columbine. And again, I have been in 4 other schools, help counsel in the aftermath of 4 other school shootings since then. And then 2 years after the Columbine tragedy, at my own school, Green Mountain High School in Lakewood, Colorado, we had 4 suicides in 8 months. And what was so difficult there is that was my alma mater. That's where I graduated from high school. And so after, once I taught 10 years, and then after 10 years of teaching, I became a school counselor. And so with that, I was able to help my school with the healing on that type of thing. And so what we found out was at the beginning of this school year at Green Mountain High School, in one table in an art class, there were 3 students. Just 3 months later, only 1 student was left at that table. Her name was Brandy. And the kids started asking her, when are you going to kill yourself? Because what was happening is the 2 of the guys that had taken their lives, they were all males, 2 of the guys that had taken their lives, they were at Brandy's table in that art class. And so that's where the kids started asking her, when are you going to kill yourself? We had to change those conversations. And so what happened is those 3 suicides had happened. So we had 3 suicides between November 5th and December 3rd. And so at the end of that semester, we got out of there. We had our winter break. And when we came back in January, we went into all the school classrooms and we said, you guys, a month ago, we had 3 guys that were walking our halls. They're all gone now because of suicide. And so what happened is we told them, we said, you guys, we heard that the guys had said something to their friends, but the friends didn't say anything to the adults because they didn't want their friends to get mad at them or to break a confidence. And so we went into the school classrooms and we said, you guys, please tell us if your friends are thinking about suicide or if they're hurting, so we can get them the help that they need. And so right then at the one of the girls raised her hand and she said, I knew John, the third guy that had taken his life. And she said, I knew him, and he, said that he told me what he was thinking about, but I didn't want him to get mad at me. Right then, another girl in the classroom said, you know what? He told me too. And she said, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want him to get mad at me either. But she said, now I'd rather have a mad friend than a dead friend. That just breaks my heart every time I think back at that. That next semester, we had 48 students put on 72-hour holds for suicide. With those presentations that we talked with the kids started telling us, the adults, when their friends or themselves were hurting, so that we could get them the help. And so 48 students, you guys, 48 students on 72-hour holds. What that means is they had a plan of how they were going to commit suicide. So they had a plan of how they were going to do it, with a gun or a rope or whatever, when they were going to do it, and then the method, how they were going to do it, and the plan and everything. So they really were going to do it. We could have lost 48 more students, but with us empowering the students to let us know, we were able to prevent those suicides too. So that was exciting. We were working on trying to empower the kids. We knew after the suicides, and then what I had heard is from the guys at Columbine too. Their friends had told their friend, the two guys who shut up the school, they had told their friends what their plans were to shoot up the school. But again, their friends didn't say anything. So that's where, after hearing about these things, I thought, okay, in hearing these 48 students, we said, these kids are really hurting, and we need to do more than after the fact. What can we do when the kids are hurting? What were the things happening? And so we found out the kids were new, sick, bullied, hospitalized, or lost loved ones. And then they spiraled down because they didn't get all the help that they needed. And so we thought, okay, we've got to empower the kids to be able to reach out to their peers, besides telling us when their peers are hurting. And so what I did, what was interesting is after the forced suicide, Brandy knew, if you remember Brandy was that girl at that art class, that table in the art class, that her two friends at that table had taken their lives. And so what happened is after the forced suicide, she knew him too. And so what happened is she came running into my office. So the evening that it happened, or the afternoon that happened, she came running into my office. She said, Miss Austin, you got to help me. And I said, Brandy, what's going on? She said, Miss Austin, when I heard about his suicide, she said, I was at an intersection at a stoplight. And she said, you know what, Miss Austin, I thought, you know what? If I see a car coming down the street into this intersection while I'm waiting here for the green light, if I see a semi truck come through into the intersection, I'm going to pull out in front of him, and then he'll run into me, and I'll be gone. I'll be dead, and the pain will be over. She said, Miss Austin, no semi truck came into that intersection. She said, Miss Austin, you got to help me. I don't know how I can do this. So what happened over those next 3 years, she was a freshman in high school, which means she was in 9th grade. And so over the next 3 years, we talked and talked and talked and talked. And what's precious is we're still in touch to this day. But so I thought, we have got to do something. We really need to do something to empower these kids in how to reach out to their peers. And so I started a school club called the Bionic Team, which stands for Believe It or Not, I Care. And what we do is we empower kids to reach out to their peers, again, who are new, by hosting a new student lunch once a month to connect the kids with friends immediately that are like-minded. If the new kid is in sports, if they're in football, if he's in football, we introduce them to another football player. If they're in music, we introduce them to a kid that's in music. If a kid is in art, we introduce them to a kid in art. And so that they have friends immediately, so they can start having friends at school and someone to eat lunch with, and to be able to meet like-minded kids that are sick. out sick 5 or more days, what we do is we send them a get well packet, a personalized card, an inspirational saying, and some information to help them with their homework. Because as we started talking to the kids that were sick, we found out the biggest stress for them was all the homework that they were missing. And so we thought, okay, we gotta send them a get well packet to let them know we're thinking of them and just to help them with that stress of missing all the work. Then the kids that were hospitalized, we thought we've got to reach out. So what we started doing is we started going to the hospital and visiting the kids that were in the hospital. And so what we did is we did that. And one of the girls that we visited, we visited the girl and then came out of the hospital room. The mom came out and said, "You guys, you're the first people from school that have either contacted her or came to visit. And you guys the only ones that contacted her." And she said she was starting to feel forgotten. And she said, "Thank you." She said the last couple of days she's been spiraling down. She had been in the hospital almost 2 weeks. She said she's been spiraling down. And so what's going on is I was really worried that she was going to, who knows, she may die because she was losing hope. She said, already, just from you guys being here in the room, I can tell her countenance is up, she's positive, and she said, I bet she's going to be back in school by the end of this week or next week. So she said, thank you for making a difference. Now, also some students that live further away from school, instead of visiting them in the hospital, what we do is we tell the parent, hey, we've got this Mug and Hershey's Kisses or Mug and Balloon for you if you want to come and pick this up to bring to your child in the hospital so that they can be encouraged, and let them know that we're thinking of them too, so that they know they're not forgotten. Also, for kids that are bullied, we started something called Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi. A lot of prevent bullying by just saying hi. Some schools have programs that cost $5,000 that take 6 months to train the kids. And it's 12 things to do when their kids are bullied. The kids don't remember that. The staff doesn't remember it. The parents don't remember it. So when someone's bullied, the bullying just happens because we can't get them the help they need. So I came up with Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi. H is get help. First thing, so what we do is we tell the kids, if you see bullying in school or in the online or in school, report it to an adult, of course, your parent or grandparent right away, but also report it to an adult at school so we can take care of that scenario, that situation. We can take care of the bully and the bullied student. But we tell the kids now, your big responsibility is the I of the HI, H-I. H is help, I is initiate contact. And so we tell the kids, initiate contact. So what we do is when we get report of a kid that was bullied, we send out a message to all the bionic kids. We say, you guys, what you need to do is initiate contact. So we tell all of our bionic students, and bionic students, we tell them everything is confidential. So if we heard that Jason Tapoya was bullied that morning, we send our bionic kids a message saying, hey, you guys, initiate contact with Jason Tafoya. And so if the kids see him in the hall, they just say, hi, Jason. They don't have to become best friends with him, but we know that bullying a lot of times happens in isolation. And so what we do is the kids just start reaching out to him in various ways during the day. If they have class with him, we tell the kids, come up with some excuse, some reason to want to contact him. And so what you do is then you contact him and say, hey, Jason, you know that homework that we had last night in English, did you understand that? Could you help me with this? Whatever, just to contact them. And anyway, you guys, so if kids are saying hi, doing those types of things throughout the day, by the end of that day, there could be 6 kids that have contacted Jason. The thing is, you guys, is like I said, bullying often happens in isolation. And so with that, at the end of the day, the bully's going, whoa, number one, they got in trouble with the administrator, the school administration. And then they're seeing that 6 kids are reaching out to Jason. They're going, I can't get away with it anymore. So the bullying stops. And that's what's incredible about this. And then we also reach out to kids that have lost loved ones. And so what we do is we contact the families of the students and say, hey, we want to reach out to you guys with a pie and come and visit your home. And so once a month, we do pie deliveries to all the students' families that have lost loved ones. And so we go and I contact the families to get permission to stop by and deliver the pie. And we say, hey, you guys, we just want to let you know, we want to give you guys this pie so you can come together as a family and be able to talk about the special memories of that person that you lost. And so we're acknowledging that student and the loss that he or she has had in their family. And then what our bionic kids do is when they see them in the hall and stuff like that, say, hey, how are you doing? I just, it was good to stop by and see your family after the loss of your loved one. Now, for families that live too far away, that they're not able to, we're not able to deliver the pie, maybe they live an hour away, then what we do is we contact the parent and say, hey, we got this pie if you'd like to come to school and pick it up, or we can give your student a mug and Hershey's Kiss, a mug and comfort food. So a lot of times that's pudding or a pack of pudding, or it's a hot chocolate packet, or Hershey's Kisses, something like that in a mug. And so then they'll have that mug to remember that lost loved one. And so that's a very precious way to reach out to these families that have lost loved ones. And then as we kept doing the outreaches, the kids said, Miss Austin, there was a death of a student in an accident, a car accident at another school. Can we do something for them? Because they're just going, this is so fun. We're making such a big difference. I'm sorry, I had chili for lunch. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so what happened is, so what we did is we did these 30-foot posters. We do this huge poster, we put it out in the cafeteria, and say for one of our first posters was for Montbello High School. And so we put on there, Montbello High School, proud home of the Crusaders. And then we said, Green Mountain High School is sorry to hear of your tragedy. Our hearts and thoughts are with you. And we put it out in the cafeteria, and kids come and sign the poster. And it's amazing how special it is to sign that poster, because then they know that that poster is going to bring strength and courage to that school that lost a student or a staff member. And so that's what's happening. What's interesting is initially when we had the suicides at Green Mountain, I had gone the next semester after when we were getting those 48 kids put on 72-hour holds. I went to a district meeting for counselors, and someone came up to me and said, Sandy, you're at Green Mountain? Ooh, that's the death school. And that pierced my heart, because I heard death school at Columbine, and then now they were saying death school at Green Mountain, and that just pierced my heart, because that's where I went to high school. And it was always my dream to end up as a counselor back at my school, and to know that other schools were saying that to us, that broke my heart. What was interesting, as we started doing these posters for other schools where there were tragedies, what happened is we had I went to another one of those trainings for the school counselors, and someone came up to me there and said, Sandy, you guys sent us that poster after we lost that student. They said, thank you so much. That really meant a lot to us. And they say every time I pass that, we put it in the cafeteria. It is really such an encouragement. And our kids are we're all standing there reading the names and all that type of thing. It really means a lot. And that lady said, Sandy, you guys are the caring school. Caring school. We went from the death school to the caring school within three years. And what's amazing is things are happening across the world. We are really making a difference. So that's been exciting to see what's happening there. What was really special is about a few years ago, I was at an elementary school. They were starting a bionic team. So elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools and colleges have bionic teams. And so it was precious. I was talking to this elementary school, and I was telling them, you guys, I was talking to them about our bully prevention program. And I said, it's so sad what is happening. You know, with the bullying, I said, you guys, bullying was happening when I was in school. And I said, it happened in my parents' schools. I said, my generation has failed you, that it's still happening all these years later. Right then, a third grader stood up and said, Miss Austin, maybe our school, maybe our generation can be the generation to stop bullying once and for all. Yes, that is my dream for these kids, this generation, to stop it. It's going to be monumental, but these guys are doing it, and I'll let you hear what we're doing. It's just exciting. I'm so proud of these students. So then also what happened is someone called me from a senior living center, and what happened, she said, Sandy, I want to check to see if I have permission to start an intergenerational, start a bionic team at my senior living center. I said, yes, tell me a little bit about what's going on. She said, Sandy, when our senior residents, our elderly residents come here, they've either lost their spouse or their spouse or their partner, or they are getting memory issues like Alzheimer's and that type of thing. And so she said, can we start a bionic team here? I said, sure. She said, then we would, when they come back from the hospital, we would go and visit them and let them know we're thinking about them if they had to be hospitalized or something. If they lose one of their loved ones, we reach out to them, or when they die, we will reach out to their family and that type of thing. She said also with the new residents that come in, so often since they're new and they've lost their partner or they're getting memory issues, they don't want to come to lunches or meals or anything because they're embarrassed or they're really lonely. She said, if we have a bionic team, we can reach out to them and enfold them and invite them to meet different residents in the senior center. She said, but the most important thing we want to do is I want our people to deal with the kids. I want them to talk with the kids, because a lot of the seniors, the elderly, are they have kids living, they have their grandkids living with them now, before they came here. And so she said, I would love for our residents to be able to meet and talk with the kids. So we started table talks monthly. And what we do is it's a discussion between the kids and the seniors about related to a question of the holiday of the month. So the very first question we asked, we said, okay, you guys, if you could have lunch with anyone throughout history, living or dead, who would it be and why? And so the elderly were saying Elvis Presley, Sir Winston Churchill, Abraham Lincoln, Marilyn Monroe. The kids are saying Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. I thought, hell on earth are these guys going to be even speaking the same language? Because the generation gap there. But it was very powerful, you guys. What happened was just incredible. Lots of miracles. I don't have time to go into all those details now, but I can do that later. Also something, we have over 150 schools worldwide. As we've been doing this for 21 years now, we have over 150 schools worldwide that have started bionic teams. And so one day, one of our kids said, Miss Austin, wouldn't it be neat to see how much of a difference we can make in one day if all the bionic teams across the world could do outreaches in one day? Let's see how much of a difference we can all make in one day. So I said, okay, let's start 10/10 Eye Care Day on October 10th. And so what we do is we say for 10 hours, we encourage all the kids to make a difference in 10 people's lives, one person each hour for 10 hours. So we encourage the kids, okay, you guys, when you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, call your grandma and tell her you love her. And then before you leave for school at 8 o'clock, put a Hershey's Kiss on the pillow of every person in your family. So when they go to bed that night, they'll know that you were thinking about them. Then we say, okay, when you get to school, bring a flower for a secretary, bring something for your friend. And then we encourage the kids to do thank you notes for the teachers throughout the day. We encourage teachers to write notes to their kids, their students, and that type of thing. We encourage them to reach out to the cafeteria workers, the security workers, the secretaries, the administrators, the teachers, all that type of thing. At the end of the day, we always go to the fire department or the police department, and we deliver a platter of cookies or vegetables, and just to say, hey, we're thinking about you guys, and we want to say thank you for all the lives you're saving in our community. And then we tell the kids, okay, you guys, with the 10 hours, there's still 3 hours left. So when you go home, see what you can do as a family to make a difference in other people's lives. Call friends, go and rake leaves if it's in the fall. If it's snow, go and shovel the snow of an elderly person around you. But keep doing that. At the last school that I was at, before I retired early to start Bionic as a nonprofit, what happened is we did over 24,000 outreaches on October 10th. It was incredible. Oh, not only were our students doing outreaches, their parents were doing outreaches at their businesses, and their siblings picked up 1010 I Care Day to do at their schools. You guys, that's why we did 24,000 outreaches in one day. All right. And that's what's incredible. If all 150 of those schools were doing that, and all of them were all able to. But just to think of that difference. Some of you guys out there with a calculator, forget that number now. If 150 schools are doing, say, 5,000 outreaches in one day, what is that? Can you put that in the chat? Let me know what that is. Who's a good mathematician there? So anyway, that's what is going on so on October 10th, coming up in the fall, hopefully you will decide to do a 1010 I Care Day at your school, at your business, at your church, wherever you are in your community worldwide. Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't that be incredible for that to happen as a result of this global summit? Let me know, and I'll give you information later about how to contact me, and let me know if you're thinking about doing that. Again, there you go. That was the kids took up the challenge, see how much of a difference we could make that year. So what we've done is we did a survey, data survey of our students on the Bionic teams recently. And what the kids, we said, how much does Bionic give you? Again, believe it or not, I care. How much does Bionic give you a reason to look forward to coming to school? 88.9% said Bionic gave them a reason to want to come to school. That's incredible. We know so many kids that do not want to go to school, but Bionic gives kids something to get excited about to come to school because because of the outreaches they're going to do that day. We asked them, how much does Bionic help you to be a better team member? So those of you guys with businesses, or those of you guys with, your students are eventually going to need a career. Hello, all of them do. We asked them, how much did it help you to become a better team member, which would translate into a more effective worker for businesses when they get out of school. 88.9% of the kids said it helped them to become a better team member as they were doing the outreaches and all that type of thing. So that's what's exciting. And then we asked them, how much did it give you confidence that you can help others? 96.3% said it gave them confidence to know how to reach out to other people. Just incredible. So we're not only inspiring our kids, but we're inspiring other people too. So what's amazing is a few years ago, there was a shooting at another school in our area. And so what we did is we did a poster like this one here that you see. That's a poster that we put out in the cafeteria, and kids were there signing it. So there you see what's happening. What was amazing is, so I dropped by the poster that night after we signed it. The next week, I was asked to go and help that school in the aftermath of their shooting to help counsel their kids and everything. And so what happened is really neat. I went to that school, and there was our poster in the cafeteria. That's the first time I'd ever gone to a school that had one of our posters there for that school. So it was really neat. People there were saying, "You're from Green Mountain? Oh my gosh, thank you for this poster. It really means a lot." What was powerful, you guys, is there were posters from 3 other schools that we had reached out to after a tragedy at their school. Now they were reaching out to other schools that were having tragedies. It was just so exciting. We're inspiring other schools to reach out to others that go through tragedies of loss of students or staff members. So that was really powerful. And then the leadership skills that these kids are learning in Bionic. During COVID, one of my graduates, she said, "Miss Austin, I learned from Bionic." She said, there is, I noticed in our community that I saw the food insecurity during COVID. And she said, so I went to my church and said, "You guys, we need a food bank." She goes, I don't know how to do a food bank, but I will help you with it, but we need to do it. So you need to provide all the resources and everything. So we never taught her how to do a food bank, but we teach the kids how to look around and see the needs around them, and then how to find the resources to help meet the needs. And so it's incredible. What's been amazing is our kids that are in Bionic, the leadership skills are just, they're better than even student council, the student senate, the student leaders in the schools that were voted to lead the school. Bionic is having a greater impact in teaching kids leadership skills, and it's carrying on the rest of their life. And so then next, what was interesting is during college, one of my former students came back to see me, Eva. She said, Miss Austin, you know, I learned from Bionic. There was a girl on my floor in my dorm at college that lost a loved one. Everyone was avoiding her because they didn't know what to say. So she said, so what I did is I reached out to her and I wrote a note. I bought her a candy bar and wrote a note, went up to her and said, hey, I heard you lost a loved one. Just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. And the girl broke out into tears and she said, thank you. She goes, I've been so lonely. She said, I'm from Kansas and I don't know anyone here. And no, you're the first person that's talked to me in a week. She said, I even started thinking about suicide because I was so lonely. She said, thank you. I'll be okay now. Thanks for caring. Just powerful how these kids are reaching out. Bionic activates compassion. So again, 21 years ago, I started Bionic. And for 14 years, as a school counselor, I was running Bionic teams in one school for 10 years and then another school for the last 4 years. And then we won 2 National Philanthropy Day awards. And people were saying, Sandy, this needs to be in more schools. You need to start as a nonprofit. I said, I don't know how to do that. I'm a school counselor. And so they encouraged me to enter a pitch competition, and I did. And I won it for $160,000. And so I started Bionic 7 years ago. And so we've had over 250 schools worldwide that are inquiring about starting Bionic. Again, elementary through college, elementary through college. And that's all 50 states in the United States, and over 36 countries are inquiring about how to start Bionic. It's interesting. I don't know if this is I don't think this song is gonna play, but one of my students said, Miss Austin, have you heard the song How to Save a Life by the Fray? This is several years ago. And I said, no, I haven't heard about it. So we listened to it. And she said, do you think we can ask them if we can use that as our theme song? And so we emailed them and they said, yes, we could use that song as our theme because we knew how to save a life. And so what's been exciting is through our little Bionic team, we started doing all these outreaches, and it's gone to different schools and different things like you've heard on our 1010 I Care Day, how the kids are doing things and then the parents are doing things. What's so exciting is the oldest kids that I personally worked with Bionic through the years, they are over 41 years old now. What they're doing is they're coming back to me and saying, Miss Austin, my business needs a Bionic team because we have employees who are new, sick, hospitalized, and lose loved ones. And she said, can I start a Bionic team at my business? Yes, because she said, the people at my business that are sick and losing loved ones and things, they're just spiraling down and they're losing hope in there. And they're even thinking about suicide and stuff. So that's what's exciting, is what Bionic has done through the years. Remember Brandy, that girl at that table that was at that intersection? She is 41 years old now. And what's happening is she has 3 kids of her own, and she has prevented so many suicides through the years. She knows how to reach out to kids. She knows how to reach out to peers. She knew how to reach out to kids through the years too. Also, she's teaching her kids how to reach out to their peers, and she's creating caring climates throughout the world through the difference that she's making. We are impacting generations to come through Bionic. And so I want to if you, we have something we have created calling a caring culture tip sheet. And this is a free gift. If you would like to know more about Bionic, learn more about how you can make a difference with your family, your school, your business, your community, your church. We have 12 ideas of actually 13 ideas of what you could do to equip your kids, equip your school, your family, your business, about how to make a difference. If you just want to do a test, get this caring culture tip sheet. There you see the QR code, or you can go to giftfromsandy.com and you can even start now to prepare for things for your community. What's exciting is on 1010 Eye Care Day, we didn't only have schools doing things, we even had businesses doing it. So one of our local businesses, Chipotle, they said, we'll give a 10% discount on 1010 on October 10th if you come in and order something that day. So they did that. Now, Chili's did one thing better. What they said is, if you come in to our restaurant on October 10th, then what you can do is we will, instead of giving you the 10% discount, when we think that you will support this, we will give that 10% to the Bionic team at school so that they can reach out and do even more outreaches. That's been exciting. All right. So factors to consider. If you would like to start a Bionic team at your school or church or business, something like that, it costs $1,200 to start a new one. It costs, and then once you start it, then it's just $600 a year to renew it. You can volunteer. We are looking for speakers wherever you are. If you're in the United States or if you're in India, we have a school starting a Bionic team in India. We have a school in Belize. We have school in Taiwan. You guys, we have, like I said, all 50 schools in the United States have been inquiring. We even have Canada inquiring. So I can't go on and on about all the every places. So anyway, if you want to have Bionic outreaches in your school, your business, your community, your family, different things like that, that's how you can help to make a difference in this world. So thank you for caring. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to empower these kids to be the generation to stop bullying once and for all. So thank you for this privilege. You guys, what a privilege to be on this summit. Thank you for being with us today. And I will pass it back to you, Melinda.
Yes, thank you so much, Sandy Austin. It was an energetic presentation. And we have a few questions from our audience, Sandy. I want to ask you one of them.
Great.
Yeah. What simple activities help kids develop a caring mindset?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. What simple activities help kids develop a caring mindset?
Oh, a caring mindset. So what we all know, one of the biggest things for kids is it's such a difficult time because they're bullying and they're developing as kids, they're developing as people. And so what other people think about them is more important than figuring out who they are. So what I have found is by teaching the kids that they are a gift and that they are a gift, and to not compare themselves to other kids at school. The way you do that is what we saw with Bionic. As these kids are coming together as a group and they're reaching out to other people, they are feeling so good. They get the confidence, they look forward to coming to school. Like I said, they have the confidence that they can reach out and make a difference in other people's lives. So that's the thing. They're building up that confidence. And so that's a big key to changing that mindset.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your valuable time today. We are very honored.
Thank you so much. You guys, there's all my information. You can email me at sandy@bionicteam.org. There's my phone number there. Please get the Caring Culture tip sheet and let's make a difference and let's make this generation to be the generation to stop bullying once and for all. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Bless you.
Thank you everyone who joined us today for the day 2 of the Global Virtual Summit 2026. We explored powerful ideas, heard inspiring voices, and connected with participants from around the globe. Your energy and engagement made today truly impactful. We hope you gain valuable insights and meaningful connections. Join us tomorrow for day 3 as we continue this exciting journey together. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye bye.